Good afternoon and welcome everyone to Shepard's Park on Auckland's North Shore for this round 5 Northern League fixture between the home side Birkenhead United up against visitors from across the bridge Western Springs AFC. It's a grey old day in Auckland this afternoon. The rain's been persistent all day. The wind has been very strong but has dropped slightly as the afternoon's worn on. And we are looking forward to what should be an open, entertaining game this afternoon from the home of Birkenhead. Looking at the two team lists for Birkenhead, 3 changes to the side that lost to Melville on Friday. Out go Alex Connor McLean through a knee injury. Aidan Lehan and Corbin Piper move to the bench. In come Levi Wilson, Dylan Hobson and Chase Taylor. They will be in a 3-5-2 formation. Sam Burfoot will captain the side from the number 10 position, and their coach is Paul Hobson.
How's the preparations gone for the week?
Yeah, preparation's gone really well. Trained yesterday morning to try and put some of the wrongs right from Friday, but everybody's fit and raring to go.
Awesome, and you guys won your first 3 games, a slip up last week. How have you guys been preparing, and how do you feel starting the season?
Yeah, well, obviously to win any game's good, but to get 3 on the bounce was really good. Yeah, deserved to lose on Friday, and then obviously playing probably one of the better teams in the league today as well. So really important that we get the 3 points today as well.
Awesome, all the best.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Paul Hobson there would have been very pleased with the first 3 games of the season. Obviously not so much the last one. For Western Springs, 2 changes from Friday's demolition of North Shore United. Vitalia Hamilton-Palmer out through injury to be replaced by Dean Lausef in the centre of defence. Further upfield, Wade Maloney drops to the bench, and in comes Dawson Straffen, and he will play wide on the right. Coach Chris Orisic will put out a 4-3-3 formation, and we caught up with him prior to the warm-up.
How's the squad looking for the game?
Yeah, not too bad. Obviously with the game on Friday we've picked up a couple of injuries, so we've had to make some enforced changes, but hopefully the lads coming in will be ready, and yeah, we're looking forward to a really tough encounter.
And with the work going on at your home ground, how has the preparations been and how has the disruptions been this season?
Yeah, obviously hasn't been ideal with the turf out of action. Yeah, we're down to 2 grass fields with our whole of our club's programs, which is proving to be quite challenging, but it is what it is. We knew it was going to happen at some stage, and hopefully short-term pain for long-term gain. We'll have a really great facility once it's done, and hopefully, yeah, in the second round, lots of clubs will be playing on a decent surface.
Awesome, all the best for today.
Great, thanks very much.
So teams make their way out onto the pitch. Referees, or the officials for this afternoon's fixture. Referee is Alan Wilson. AR1, Alec Couchman, and AR2 will be Daniel Neville. As I say, it's the weather's not bad for the players, not great for the spectators this afternoon. So a lot of them you'll see huddled in underneath in the club rooms, and there'll probably be just a smattering round the ground here at Shepard's Park. Very contrasting Easter Fridays for these 2 sides. Birkenhead lost 1-0 to Melville United. I think that was a game that Paul Hobson alluded to, a deserved loss. 2 evenly matched teams, but 1-0 result going Melville's way. Contrastly, Western Springs absolutely pumped North Shore United 5-1, 4-0 at half-time, and so that was a much more pleasing result for Coach Chris Orisic, having drawn the first couple of games. And talking to him just over the weekend, he was saying, you know, those games where they didn't put their chances away, could have won those first 2 fixtures. However, just walked away with 2 points from the 2 games. Little disappointed, but it all clicked on Friday against a North Shore United team that is struggling near the foot of the table. There is Sam Burfoot, captain for Birkenhead, real stalwart of this Birkenhead setup. He's had a long relationship with the club and with coach Paul Hobson. Has sort of flitted between Birkenhead and Waitakere United when the New Zealand Premiership was running. But obviously now with the regional component moving into the National League, is a real fixture of this Birkenhead United side. Pitch looks in good condition. All in readiness for this round 5 fixture. Promises to be contrast in styles, contrast in formations. So both these sides will be looking to get the ball down, knock it around. I think the pitch is probably conducive to that. Wind blowing from left to right as we watch the game. As I said before, it was gale force this morning, has dropped away a lot, and that should make for a much more entertaining football match. Number 9, Kane Vincent there, gets us underway. Straight away, pressure on from the team in white. Players try and get the ball under control. Knock back Joe Wallace. It's a good ball out wide. Josh Margetts, captain for Western Springs. And the ball cleared out for a corner. First corner of the match for the visitors. So some early pressure on the home side. Ben Lausef moves to take the corner from his centre back position. Josh Margetts there just taking up a position for a short corner. Lausef looks like he will deliver this centrally. Whips it into the near post. Cleared away by Birkenhead. Oscar Ramsey looks wide again. Just overhits that one into the breeze. And out for a goal kick. Damien Hirst there, former under-20 New Zealand representative. Another long-serving member of this Birkenhead club. And talking with Paul Hobson, really keen to get a result here this afternoon. 4 wins from the first 5 games, and he says, it's a fantastic start to the season. However, if you don't pick up the points today, then 9 from 15, and suddenly you're thinking it's not the greatest start, and some question marks come about. Springs get the ball down. Nakashima wide out. Here's Oscar Brown, 2 goals on Friday, looking for more. Brown delivers into the penalty area. Shot! Blocked on the edge of the box. Kane Vincent has another go. Chance for Vincent. Just skews his shot. Nakashima, ball bouncing round. Nakashima. Terrific opportunity for Western Springs there. Just couldn't get their shots on target. Great run from Brown. Pulled the ball back. Nakashima with the first effort. Kane Vincent gets the rebound back. And a couple of misdirected shots after that. I think Damien Hirst will be very, very happy he's taking a goal kick rather than his team kicking off from the halfway line. Good early pressure from the Spring side. Referee Wilson, I think, signifying a handball in there. There's 3 minutes gone, and all the play has gone down that the Birkenhead left-hand side of the field. played long. Delivered over the goal line for a goal kick by Cameron McKenzie. First real attacking opportunity for Birkenhead. And a first touch really for young Joe Wallace, just 16 years of age. Joe Wallace in the Western Springs goal. Springs again building up across their back four. Wallace drills it out. Here's Nico Steinmetz. Plays the ball down the line. That'll be a free kick. Oscar Brown just turned Andrew Crom. Taken short. Here's Ramsey. Brown. There's a chance for Sam Burfoot to get his foot on the ball. And Luke Jorgensen that time trying to take the ball down the line. Western Springs with the throw and taken by Steinmetz. Koulibaly. So just a little scrappy in these early stages. Both sides struggling to just keep hold of the ball. Territorially, Western Springs would be the happier of the two sides. Steinmetz can't find his man. Picks up the rebound though and spreads play to the other side of the field. Straffen. Dawson Straffen on a run. Drops the ball back to Josh Margetts. There's better play from Western Springs. Margetts in behind, and I think the covering clearance came from Nick Forrester. So a nice piece of interplay on the far side from the Springs right flank. And just at the moment, Birkenhead, every time they play the ball forward, just seem to give up possession. Can't really build any pressure on this Western Springs defence. Koulibaly, wide to Ramsey. Down the line by Margetts. Yeah, good support from Ramsey. And the ball rolls out for a goal kick. So again, Damien Hirst just sending his players towards the halfway line. Going to bomb this one into that little pocket between the halfway line and the sideline. Overcooks it, and again gives up possession to Springs. Vincent, certainly well travelled Kane Vincent. Spent many years as a pro in Thailand, in Malaysia, in Japan. Now found his way back to New Zealand. Season with Auckland City, and now with Western Springs, coaching their under-15 team. Yeah, first chance for Birkenhead. Birkenhead, here's a chance. Ball in, ball crossed, and a goal. Well, a sucker punch from Birkenhead. And it was Cameron McKenzie who applied the finishing touch. Great run from Luke Jorgensen. See Jorgensen coming across here, picks up the ball, whips that across, And Cameron McKenzie applies the finish. And after absorbing all the pressure in the opening stages of this match, it is Birkenhead who take the lead. Very much against the run of play. And that'll be very, very disappointing for Springs coach Chris Zoricic. It really was out of nothing. The poor pass allowed Jorgensen to get on the end of it. But his cross to Cameron McKenzie, very, very good, sharp. He gave McKenzie a really clear sight on goal. Again, Birkenhead breaking, goal scorer, McKenzie. Here's Burfoot with the strike. And he's miscued that one into the side netting. Claims for a corner from Birkenhead. You can see the wind has picked up and is blowing very much in favour of the home side. Lausev and the line to Steinmetz. Nico Steinmetz, whose sister Malia has been doing some good things with the Football Ferns in recent tours. Ball delivered back across, and it was Dino Botica just nodding that one back to Damien Hirst. Oh, ball over the top, and Springs are struggling again. Another cross, and here's another chance. And again, it was McKenzie. And Western Springs just not defending the long ball. This time it was Dylan Hobson who got on the end of it. Whipped that one across to Cameron McKenzie. And McKenzie's shot ricocheted off the defender. Would have caused real problems for Joe Wallace. And it'll be Hobson to deliver. Into the penalty area, headed away by Lausev for another corner. So real pressure on the Western Springs goal. Referee just wanting to sort out some of the pushing and shoving prior to the corner being taken. I think Hobson will be just trying to land this one in the 6-yard box on the keeper. Hit it over the top. No problem for Wallace there. Boddicker it was, rising the highest. Now Springs into that patient build-up. Trying to move this Birkenhead side from one side to the other. Now ball in the line. Here's Vincent. Yeah, interesting tactical battle going on here as well. Back three from Birkenhead. That's a great ball. Beautiful play there down the left. Run in behind again from McKenzie, who's looked energetic in the opening stanza of this match. Scored one, continually probing in behind the Springs defence. Here he is again. McKenzie. Margits. Clears the ball. You can see Kenta Nakashima there, trying to urge his teammates on. A little bit more urgency needed from the team in black. Started well enough, but just haven't really created clear-cut opportunities with the possession that they've enjoyed so far in the first 15 minutes of this game. What can Ramsey do? Looks to slide the ball in, but again, that ball's overhit. As I was saying, interesting tactical battle with Paul Hobson, as for a number of years now played with a back three. Talking with him yesterday, he was saying he normally plays with just one up front, but today, and a couple of wide players, but today pushed Mackenzie and Levi Wilson up front to play two up, try and engage the central pairing for Western Springs, as here comes Mackenzie again. And Chris Orzic, always keen to play a 4-3-3 formation. One deep lying midfielder, two attacking midfielders in Adama Koulibaly and Kenta Nakashima. Oscar Ramsey at the base of the midfield. And you'd think that it is in that midfield area where Birkenhead should get some mileage, given the numbers that they have in that area of the park, with 5 across that midfield block. Steinmetz, here's Vincent, looking to turn. Ramsey, across to Steinmetz. He's got Brown ahead of him. Oscar Brown, confronted by a couple of defenders, does well to win the ball back again. Good tussle there between Brown and Hobson. Ball looking for Vincent. Vincent, back to goal. That's very good work that time by Luke Jorgensen. It's a dangerous position to have a player like Kane Vincent inside the 6-yard box there from a long throw. And Jorgensen did really well just to come across and make life very difficult for Vincent. And that'll be a free kick. Pretty simple decision for referee Wilson. Hobson across to take. Boddicker, Crom, Forrester, Vaughan forward. And that's a delivery that leaves a lot to be desired from Paul Hobson. Interesting. Both these sides, very young benches. If you look at the Springs team, 2 17-year-olds, an 18-year-old, and very much the same on the Birkenhead bench. There's 3 players, well, 4 players under the under-20 mark. The two sides, the two starting under-20 players for Birkenhead, Levi Wilson and Chase Taylor in the middle of the park. There is Chase Taylor. And for Western Springs, Dawson Straffen, the number 19, playing down the right wing, is one of the under-20s, and Taj Colley at the back. Also, see him there, center of your picture. Again, Western Springs looking to play in behind the back three of Birkenhead, and just so far in this first 20 minutes, those balls have, the majority of those passes have been overhit. And that's meant that Damien Hirst in goal has had a lot of goal kicks to take. Here's Lausef. Burfoot pulls it down. Burfoot again. Jorgensen driving through, trying to pick up the ball. Lausef bends that one down the line, looking for Brown. Here's Burfoot, always comfortable on the ball. Sam Burfoot. McKenzie, the goal scorer. Hobson does well to keep that one in play. So I think Paul Hobson would be obviously very happy with the scoreline, but the way his team has soaked up the pressure early has hit Western Springs on a counter-attack. Haven't really given up too many opportunities. Just that one where the ball was ricocheting around the penalty area. But by and large, most of the play, most of the pressure has been in front of the Birkenhead defence. And they've looked quite comfortable defending the attacks from the visiting side. I think for Chris Orisic, he'll just be wanting a little bit more urgency in defence and a little bit more control and more passing, more accurate passing in the final third. I think the build-up play has been very good from Birkenhead. From Western Springs. Just that final ball lacking. Here's Margits. Margits looking for something, and his shot come cross harmlessly into the arms of Damien Hirst. Josh Margits famously collapsed on a futsal court in training with the futsal whites. Here's the ball in behind. Lausef slides to hook it out for a corner. Josh Margits, his heart stopped and he collapsed on a futsal court and was brought back to life with a defibrillator. And since that day has been a huge advocate of making sure that there's defibrillating devices at every football ground around the country. And now he's going to be asked to defend this corner. Hobson to deliver. Good header there by Andrew Crom, but just wide of the post. Lausef's got a problem. Not sure if he got a knock there from something that happened during the corner, but there he is, back in action, bringing the ball out and looking down the line for Vincent. Chance for Kane Vincent, and he wins the corner. A very direct approach that time from this Western Springs side. And it will be Margits and Lausif heading over to the corner. Jackson Wood and Sam Burfoot in attendance for Birkenhead. Margits plays it short to Lausif. Planned move to the near post. And Margits going for what was a pretty difficult shot. So 25 minutes gone. Just the one goal so far to Cameron McKenzie. So Brown putting, here is Oscar Brown. Oscar Brown gets tripped over on the edge of the box. Referee in close attendance says he got the ball. Nakashima wins it back. Delivers. Oh, tries to chip Hurst. And had the Birkenhead keeper scrambling to tip that one over the bar. Good work from Brownie, edge of the box. Goes for the dummy. And the referee deciding that the tackle had been executed. That was Nakashima's chip, trying to catch Damien Hurst out. Good pressure now from Western Springs. Couple of good chances. This will be much more pleasing for their coach, Chris Zoricic. You can see plenty of spectators there up in the club rooms, staying out of the weather. Margits to deliver. Delivers in. Punched by Hurst. Koulibaly drops it off. No, doesn't. Here's McKenzie. And the sliding tackle from Nico Steinmetz had to be made. Birkenhead quickly taken. Here's a chance at the near post. And it was McKenzie again. I think he missed the ball. Maybe it skidded off the wet surface. But another good chance for Cameron McKenzie, who is looking lively up front for Birkenhead. Lausif. McKenzie running at the defence again. Looks for a big switch of play, but that one looks overhit. You see Birkenhead trying to lift the tempo of the game there. Paul Hobson grabbing the ball. Trying to get his players to get the ball in play. Move this Western Springs round quickly. They do have the advantage of the wind, so trying to maximise that in this first 45 minutes. Did have a disrupted build-up to this game, Western Springs team, as Chris Zoricic alluded to in the pre-match interview. Well, that's a good ball in behind. Here's Burfoot. Burfoot with the strike. Great run from Sam Burfoot. Just lifted his shot over the bar, but it was a lovely ball down the line. And Sam Burfoot, probably, if he had that opportunity again, would look to hit it across the face of goal. And if the save gets executed by the keeper, and the opportunity for a rebound for one of his teammates. But very, very good run from inside to out by Sam Burfoot. As I was saying, the Western Springs side, the turf being relayed at Seddon Fields. Chris Zoricic was saying how it is being the disrupted Easter break. And now with, in essence, all their turf fields out of action, and training becomes a real problem. Well, not just the first team, but a lot of teams. Ball delivered into the penalty area. Hurst punches. Vincent on the, tries to hook it over. Damien Hurst. Good reactions from the Birkenhead keeper. Not a convincing punch, but did well to readjust after Vincent just couldn't get enough purchase on that ball to lift it over the keeper. Burfoot. Very tight in the middle of the park, as you'd expect, with so many midfield players in there. Steinmetz. Straffon, switch sides. Here's Margits. Needs a good delivery. Too close to the keeper. Keeper doesn't do well. Not convincing by Hurst. Better at the second attempt. Caught in two minds whether to catch or punch. And Nakashima just couldn't capitalize on that one. You could see him looking to the sky. He knew that was a good opportunity. Game livening up here. Great ball, Ramsey. Brown, Vincent, tap in for Western Springs. That is a beautiful move by the visitors. Oscar Ramsey across to Oscar Brown, who's changed sides with Dawson Straffon, and it's really worked to their advantage. A lovely cross and a beautifully timed run by Kane Vincent, and the easiest of finishes to draw Springs level, 1-1. Just what Chris Zoricic would have wanted, a bit more composure in the middle of the park. I think the switch of sides between Straffon and Brown has been very good. Just a change for the defence to readjust to, and they didn't do that very well on that occasion, and it's cost them a goal. And just over the last few minutes, it has been brewing for Western Springs. They've been looking a lot more dangerous in the attacking third. Nice move from Margits. Heavy touch though. Loses out to Jorgensen. Rushes his pass somewhat. Jorgensen again. Son of Carl Jorgensen, the former Waitakere, long-serving Waitakere midfielder. I think quite noticeable the difference in the build-up play between the two teams. That may be just a factor of the wind as well, but Western Springs just playing the ball laterally, probably more than this Birkenhead side, who are more content to go across down one channel and then look probably a little further upfield. Western Springs trying to knock the ball around. Probably need to get Ramsey, Koulibaly and Nakashima more involved in the build-up play. But looking more and more dangerous. You can see Chris Zoricic there, just sitting on the left of the dugout. Obviously, former All White. Long career with the New Zealand team. Here's Lausef. There's Western Springs build up again. Good pressure initially, but then they've just released the pressure valve. Here's Vincent. Needs support. Gets it from Steinmetz. Steinmetz looks for Vincent again. Goes for the 1-2. Burfoot. Play it in behind. Lausef, good work from the left side centre back. Does really well to stop that attack, which was looking rather dangerous, to be honest. Now Dino Bodica driving out of the defence. Here's Burfoot again, looking for McKenzie over the top. Again, it's that one-out pass that at the moment isn't finding its mark for Birkenhead. Wilson, McKenzie! And a great intervention there from Taj Colley. Lovely ball in, beautiful turn by Wilson. And McKenzie there. The shot looked like it might have been heading just inside the far post. And could have caused some real problems for Joe Wallace. Hobson to deliver again. Hangs it up in the breeze. It's a second bite at it. Hobson. And it'll be consecutive corners for Birkenhead inside the last 10 minutes here at Shepard's Park. You can see how strong the breeze is and the flag there. Just probably make life a little difficult for Hobson. Bend this one in. Wallace comes, flaps at it. Not convincing from the keeper, and they pay the price. Nick Forrester there with the final touch. Well, they didn't deal with this at all, Western Springs. Wallace came, McKenzie had a stab at it. It rolled around in the penalty area, and then on the spin, it was Nick Forrester that applied the finishing touch. And having battled their way back into the game, Western Springs have coughed up a pretty cheap goal there. Chris Zoricic will be very disappointed with the defending. Ooh, that's a crunching tackle in the middle of the park. Lausef looking for Nakashima, who pushed forward. It's a good ball from Wilson. Levi Wilson coming into the game a bit more now, but then just gives up the free kick. And he'll be lucky not to get a yellow card here, Levi Wilson. Referee just having a word this time. Quickly taken by Springs. A little bit more urgency now. Steinmetz looking forward, needs a target. Straffen goes for the 1-2. And picks up the corner. Again, it'll be Margits to deliver. Now they would love to get themselves back on level terms to the near post. It's good delivery. Nakashima plays it wide. Set move here. And Margits would come back again. And that's acrobatic from Nakashima. Nakashima's 6th season at Western Springs. Another one of the players who does a fair bit of coaching at the club. Very, very busy midfielder. A Japanese player, and I think he may have just having a word with referee Alec Wilson. Delivered into the middle of the goal. Cleared out. It's a lovely ball by McKenzie. Here's Burfoot. Returns the favour. Wilson looking near post. And that's good work from Wallace, just taking it out, taking it off the head there of Sam Burfoot. A very good counter-attack from Birkenhead. Margits, like a little nutmeg on the sideline. Koulibaly just gives up possession. Koulibaly, who's just 16 years of age as well. Very young players in this Western Springs side. And that'll be offside against Cameron McKenzie. Western Springs missing probably a real goal threat in Dane Schnell. A couple of great seasons in the Premiership before it got disbanded. Dane Schnell. Another good year last year as well for Western Springs, but contracted COVID on Thursday, so he's going to be out for a week or so. Just another one of these disruptions that I think every football side in New Zealand has had to deal with in recent weeks through the pre-season. Again, Birkenhead comes streaming forward, strike, and it's a great goal. Andrew Crom was allowed to run and run and run with the ball. And then he set sight. See here, picked up the ball, runs at the defence, tucks it inside, and then whips one into the far post across Joe Wallace. Probably the keeper possibly could have done better, but it was a great strike, a great run. And Birkenhead extend their lead to 3-1 just before half-time. Can Western Springs respond? Not with passes like that from Oscar Brown. Just a little too wasteful in possession. And Birkenhead, you've got to give credit to their counter-attacking ability. They are, as Brown comes forward again. Here is Brown, delivers. And Vincent can line up his shot! And Kane Vincent whips that one just past the post. Miscontrol there by Jorgensen. Vincent had a really good sight on goal center of the box, edge of the penalty area. And I'm sure Damien Hirst was very, very grateful to see that one go past his post. And how Western Springs would have loved that just before halftime. Just cut this deficit. Again, the accuracy of the passing, just letting Springs down. Here's Nakashima, that'll be a free kick. Easy decision for referee Wilson. So into time added on here at Shepard's Park. Referee not happy that the ball was moving. Sam Burfoot just wanting to waste a few more seconds. He wants to get into the sheds at half-time with the scoreline as it stands right now. Ramsey probably needs to deliver this because there hasn't been too many stoppages in this first 45 minutes. Gets a return pass. Ramsey, Jorgensen does well, gets his body in the way. Here's Levi Wilson. Holds play up, looking for support. Hobson. And that should just about do it for the first half, and it is. Referee Wilson blows for the break. And here at Shepard's Park, an entertaining game, one where I think Western Springs were disappointed in their defensive effort. Birkenhead very good on the counter-attack, but at half-time, it is Birkenhead leading 3-1. Welcome back to Shepard's Park, where it is the home side, Birkenhead United, leading Western Springs 3-1. Let's look at the highlights of the first half. Well, the first real opportunity came to Kenta Nakashima, and the ball was zipping around the penalty area, Birkenhead's penalty area. This was the first goal. Jorgensen does well, dispossesses Lausev, and some quick thinking from Jorgensen, whips the ball across to Cameron McKenzie, and inside the first 10 minutes, Birkenhead were 1-0 up. Damien Hirst had to be quick on his line just to tip that one over the top. Sam Burfoot ran in behind and blazed high over the crossbar, and again the ball was bouncing around inside the Birkenhead penalty area. This was the response from Western Springs. Lovely interplay, and it was Kane Vincent on the end of Oscar Brown's cross. He tucked it home for 1-1. The reply was pretty swift. It came from Nick Forrester, not cleared convincingly by Western Springs, and the former under-17 New Zealand representative spun and put that one away. Jackson Woods went on a mazy run down the side, set his sights for goal, and drove the ball across Joe Wallace's goal. Kane Vincent had a final shot at the end of that first 45 minutes, but it was Birkenhead that went into the sheds much the happier with a 2-goal advantage over their crosstown rivals. Some more smiles there from some of the Birkenhead players. They'll be very comfortable with how that first 45 minutes went. If the game plan was to hit Western Springs on the counter, then that game plan was executed expertly. Jackson Woods there, I think he was credited with the third goal. It was a good run down that left-hand side. And then he's pulled the ball onto his right foot and blazed it home. Western Springs will be disappointed with their execution in the final third. Build-up play was very good. Some of the midfield play was very good, but just not clinical enough in the final third. They will have the wind at their backs, Western Springs, in the second 45 minutes. And it'll be interesting to see if that allows them to put more pressure on the Birkenhead defence. Obviously, it'll mean that some of the counter-attacking football of Birkenhead may be slowed down slightly. But certainly Western Springs need to do better in the final third. And I think that's been really the story of their season. Talking to Chris Zoricic yesterday, he was saying in the first couple of games of the season, they didn't take their chances. They had really good opportunities, could have won both those games, ended up drawing them both. And it wasn't until last weekend, or Friday's match, where they put 5 past North Shore United, that he felt that they were actually capitalising on the build-up play that they'd shown in the first 4 games. So it will be Birkenhead playing from right to left. That will get us underway in the second half. Goal scorer Cameron McKenzie takes the kick off and straight away looking direct to Jackson Woods. Can't see any changes in the Birkenhead side so far as Woods and Margits come together. And it will be a Birkenhead throw. Margits somewhat out of position. McKenzie. McKenzie needs some support and does well to win the corner. And it was from a corner down the left-hand side of the pitch for Birkenhead, where they capitalised in the first half. Dylan Hobson with his delivery causing problems for Joe Wallace, the young 16-year-old goalkeeper for Western Springs. Can he do the same again? Puts it on the keeper, this time much more confident from Wallace. That's much better. He looks to get the attack underway straight away. Nice work, Koulibaly. Nakashima. Nico Steinmetz looking to deliver the ball into Oscar Brown. Brown, who scored a couple of goals on Friday, on Easter Friday. That'll be handball against Oscar Ramsey. Oscar Brown had a very, very good game against North Shore. 2 goals in the first 45 minutes. Well, they need some of that goal-scoring prowess here, do Western Springs now. Jorgensen just turns, looking for someone forward. Elects to go back to Forrester. It's a poor ball from Forrester. Here is Oscar Brown, just turns into trouble. Now Birkenhead can come away with it. Streaming forward. The team in white. Oh, here's a chance. Oh, Burfoot just needed to control the ball. It was a terrific run from Sam Burfoot to get in behind, and it was a fantastic pass. But elected to try and be a little bit cute with his control. Now Vincent down the other end. Josh Margits back to Vincent. Two of the more senior players in the Springs side. And Oscar Brown can't get on the end of that one. Oscar Brown, who, you're talking about a one-club man, he's age 21. He's been at the club for 17 years. So since he was just a wee nipper, Oscar Brown is decked out in the Western Springs colours. Technically very good and has an eye for goal, but just needs to show that now. Sure, the message from Paul Hobson to the Birkenhead players at halftime was more about managing the game from this point on. You've done a lot of the hard work now. Got a comfortable cushion. No need to go crazy as Forrester brings the ball forward. Collects it again, delivers, and there's a goal. Beautiful play from Birkenhead. Lovely work from Nick Forrester down the left-hand flank. But it looks like the flag's up on the far side. So those celebrations are short-lived, but it was great work from Forrester. Laid the ball, went for the return. Ramsey didn't follow him. And then Wilson, I'm not sure. I think this goal might stand, actually. Yes, it does. And I think the offside, the question about the offside was on Cameron McKenzie, but it was Levi Wilson who got in there at the near post to tuck that one away. I think that's what the discussion between the assistant referee on the far side and referee Alan Wilson was about. But that was a correct decision. Levi Wilson no way he was offside. And Birkenhead with just the start they wanted in the second half. Extend their lead to 4-1, and it is a very long way back now for Western Springs. But superb work there from Nick Forrester. As I said, former under-17 New Zealand representative. Went to the under-17 World Cup in the United Arab Emirates. Unfortunately, I saw him get sent off in one of the games over there against the Ivory Coast. New Zealand's last game at that tournament. But in this occasion, Nick Forrester did all the hard work, laid the ball on a plate for Levi Wilson, who'd made a great run into that near post area and gave Joe Wallace no chance with the finish. Crom looking long for the goal scorer Wilson. Nakashima. Steinmetz. See, just in that little example, just some of the passing for Springs, you can see they're trying to get the ball down. They want to pass the ball around. It's the way Chris Zorozic loves to play his football. But just at the moment, Birkenhead are just getting their bodies in the way. The passes aren't sticking, and it's making it very, very difficult for Western Springs to build any pressure against the home side. And it's all looking rather comfortable for Paul Hobson's players. Straffen putting Hurst under a bit of pressure. Margits is a pretty tough ball to control for Dawson Straffen. Did very well though. You can see the trees blowing in the background there. It's the wind's not easing up at all. See, it's been an uncomfortable day for the spectators here at Shepard's Park, but given the way the game's gone, and most of them being Birkenhead supporters, you would expect they'd be willing to sacrifice a bit of comfort for the scoreline that we're showing at the moment. And the first yellow card of the afternoon. Looks like that's Dylan Hobson gone into the book for pulling back one of the Western Springs players. You've got to think if Springs are to entertain any thoughts of working their way back into this game, they're going to need a goal very quickly. Lausef and Ramsey over the ball. This might be a shot on goal from Oscar Ramsey. Certainly is. But just bangs that one into the side netting. trying to catch Damien Hirst there, unawares at the near post. You also got to think that they really need to put some real pressure on the Birkenhead defence. It's too easy for Birkenhead to play out. Here's Woods. Running in behind is McKenzie. Back to Jorgensen. McKenzie. Near post. Again, looking very dangerous down this left-hand side of the field. Birkenhead. Wilson. Across to McKenzie. McKenzie trying to slide the ball through to return it to Levi Wilson. It's been a good combination for Birkenhead, those two this afternoon. Goal scorer Woods. And again, McKenzie. This little pocket of space here. Been reaping rewards. Again, the direct approach from Western Springs, not really creating much, and that'll be too long. And you got to think that for Chris Orisic, he'd be looking across his bench now going, who can I throw in the mix just to change things up a bit? He's got Wade Maloney, the 24-year-old there. And then a few youngsters in Flynn Saxon, Matthew Thomas, and Kaia Hayata. See the subs warming up down behind the goal there, the Birkenhead subs. So maybe Paul Hobson's got the same sort of thoughts. I think his will be more about managing load, given the scoreline. And that's not a bad effort from Oscar Brown, just trying to get himself more involved in the game. Here's Forrester. Just long down the pitch. Ramsey now. Taj Colley. Other games being played in round 5 of the Northern League as we watch Springs trying to mount another attack. Koulibaly with the strike. Nakashima trying to get on the end of it. Burfoot does well to come back and support the defensive effort. At least Chris Orisic will be happy they're trying to put a bit of pressure on. And as Oscar Brown gets upended, trying to lift the tempo. Here's Brown again, running at the defence. Goes past one and wins the corner. Quickly taken again. As we say, trying to lift the tempo. Josh Margits. Here's a chance to strike. And it hits Kane Vincent. I think that might have been that was goal bound. I think the captain there will have a few words with the striker. Mate, can you get out of the way of my shots? Here's Vincent again. Recovered from that strike. Vincent! And again his shot slides past the post. Just as we saw in the first half. This time it was a left foot strike. Much, much better from Western Springs. And Kane Vincent ever so close to bringing the score back to 4-2. Here's the first strike. Marget's checking inside, and he hits Kane Vincent fair square in the melon. If that was goal bound, then I don't think Damien Hirst would have had much of a chance because it was hit so sweetly. Come Birkenhead again. Seem to be winning the majority of the second phase ball, the tackles in the middle of the park. Jackson Woods trying to go around the back of Margits, does well. Jackson Woods and wins the corner. Good run from the left side wing back. As we wait for Dylan Hobson to head over to take the corner. Just looking at other games in round 5. Bay Olympic up against Eastern Suburbs. It's a Bay Olympic have started the season very, very well, sitting up in second place. As Hobson delivers. And Wallace punches unconvincingly again. At least he got height on the punch though. So by the time the ball had come down, he could readjust. Looks like we may be looking at our first substitutions of the afternoon. And it is Chase Taylor who heads over to the sideline. And he will be replaced by Corbin Piper. See, Corbin Piper, I think, will slot into that midfield area as well, just pointing. We're saying 2 holders there in the middle of the park. Here is Piper. His first touch of the afternoon. As I was saying, other games, probably the pick of the games is of the afternoon is this one. We have 3 in Birkenhead, 3rd on the table, playing 6th place Western Springs. As Piper just hooks that one away. Ball sitting on the edge of the box. Hamilton Wanderers up against bottom place Waiheke United. Melville take on Manukau, who are also struggling near the bottom of the table. Auckland City leading the pack, as is so often the case. They are playing North Shore United, who are in 11th position, as we look to, I think, another substitution. And yes, it is Kenta Nakashima. You can see him look over at the bench, see his number being raised, and it will be Wade Maloney who comes on for the Japanese player. And the final game of the round, Auckland United up against Takapuna. Everyone playing for one of those top 4 spots that qualifies you for the National League, which will start later in the year. As we see this free kick, Ramsey hits it, and it hits the woodwork. Gosh, he struck that well. Very, very short run up from Ramsey. Just hits that ball flat, no spin, all moving in the air. Wind behind it. And Damien Hirst, I'm sure, pretty happy to see that one strike the woodwork and go over the top, because there's no way he would have got that if that was going just under the bar. as any keeper will say, know your goal. Jorgensen battling away in midfield. He's done well this afternoon, Luke Jorgensen. I think Jorgensen, Taylor and Sam Burfoot have dominated that midfield area of the park, and that's probably been a big reason why Birkenhead have done well through the middle regions of the field. But I think it's also just played very good in transition, have Birkenhead, and looked very much more dangerous than the slower, more patient build-up employed by Western Springs. Here they go again through McKenzie. It's one pass trying to get in behind. Jorgensen got Burfoot behind him, goes for the back heel. Burfoot. Jorgensen again. Can he deliver a cross? He can to the back post. Levi Wilson had come again to that near post area where he scored his goal from. Koulibaly. Combination with Ramsey. Brown. And it's not a good pass from Oscar Brown. Did well to skip past the first challenge. Margits, the captain. Koulibaly needs to be stronger. Wilson, he's got Burfoot inside him. Good tracking from Oscar Ramsey. I think the flag's up on the far side. Yes, it is. Burfoot had just straight into an offside position. Forrester, too strong for Brown. Now's an opportunity. McKenzie running in behind. Reverse pass. Wilson. And that'll be a free kick. Western Springs way, and another yellow card. I think this time against Andrew Crom. Just tugging back. Dawson Straffen. Piper. Woods. Trying to bend that one with the outside of his foot. I think he took a bit of a divot. And the ball just rolls out for the throw. Here's Maloney, the sub. Nice pass. Nice work from Maloney. And he goes for the shot. High, wide. Not so handsome, that one. There's 22 minutes remaining in the match. Birkenhead sitting very comfortably at 4-1. Maloney's been busy, got on the ball a lot so far in the few minutes that he's been on the park. Looking energetic, looking dangerous, trying to make things happen, which is exactly what you ask for from your substitutes. This time picks up a corner. See a lot more urgency in this Western Springs team. They need a goal, they need it real quick. Delivered to the back post, and that'll beat everyone. That's a bit of a coach killer, that one. It's when you need a really precise delivery. Disappointing when it just doesn't allow anyone to get any attacking impetus going. Nice play from Birkenhead. Wallace has to come, but again, the flag's up for offside against McKenzie. Nice piece of interplay, though, from Birkenhead. Ball into the striker, ball back to the midfield, and then the run in behind. Just the coordination and timing of the movement. Not quite there. Margits. Straffen. Your numbers back for Birkenhead. Maloney. And referee not buying the appeals from Wade Maloney. Here he is again. Nice little nutmeg on Piper. Koulibaly. Dispossessed by McKenzie. Patience shown from Birkenhead on this instance. Nice work between Woods and Piper. Steinmetz goes across. Good tackle from Nico Steinmetz. Maloney's asking for the ball, gets it. Space in front of him to drive forward. Vincent. High to Margits. Done a power of work down this right flank. Josh Margits. Here's Brown. Nice work from Brown. Can't find the delivery. Goes back. Steinmetz. Maloney. Brown with the run in behind. Can he get a delivery now? Checks back. Beats his man. Looking for a cross. Looking to the near post there. It's a good move from Western Springs. Great work from Oscar Brown. But again, it's the final delivery. Just letting the Western Springs side down. And now as the clock becomes their enemy, you can just see that they're trying more and more just to look very quickly at the front players, trying to push the pass a little bit. And it's all sort of playing into the Birkenhead side's hands. So Birkenhead, oh, looks like a raft of substitutions ready to come on as Paul Hobson empties the bench. 14, Flynn Saxon. Sorry, 14, Jordan Toy coming on. Cameron McKenzie is one of the players to leave. Dylan Hobson is also off. Sam Burfoot goes and has a seat on the bench. Luke Allport, one of the players coming on. And now we get the same from Western Springs. So it is Flynn Saxon, the number 14. 16, Matthew Thomas. 17, Kaya Rangihayata. Also making their way onto the pitch. You saw Nico Steinmetz there on the left of your picture. Has taken a seat. Josh Margits makes way. And it looks like Kane Vincent as well. Yep. Kane Vincent not happy on the bench. Not happy with the scoreline. Probably not happy with some of the delivery that he was given this afternoon. So plenty of substitutions. Will it make a difference for Western Springs? Ball delivered in. Matthew Thomas, 16. Here's Koulibaly battling away. Wade Maloney. Brown. And cleared by Birkenhead again. Thomas. Rangihayata there, just being dispossessed. Now it's an opportunity for Luke Allport. Allport running through. Allport, can he finish? Checks back inside. Allport! And that's a great save from Joe Wallace. At full stretch. Just tips that one wide of the post. Allport did really well to check back and then draws a fingertip save from Joe Wallace. Instant impact from the Birkenhead substitute. Australian-born Luke Allport. And one of this host of young players that Paul Hobson seems to bring through the system at Birkenhead. Jorgensen delivers, near post, hooked over. Crom drifts it back. Wallace elects to punch. Woods to Jorgensen, waiting for the runner. Finds it in Jordan Toy. So the game opening up here. Opportunities at both ends. You'd expect, failing some rather remarkable 10 minutes, that Birkenhead will pick up all 3 points here. Their next assignment next weekend is a trip to Medill's Farm to play Eastern Suburbs. And after that, it's the big game for them. They will be at home and they will entertain Auckland City. So a couple of tough games coming up for Western Springs. They get the opportunity to bounce back against Manukau United, who currently sit in 10th place on the competition ladder. And then after that, it's a trip, the road trip down to Hamilton, up against Melville United. So they will need to pick up some points, will Western Springs, as Birkenhead fly forward through Toy. Allport again. Allport holding the ball up. Aidan Leon there, looking forward, finds Toy. And now Nick Forrester gets involved. Everton O'Leary's also been put onto the field. So Paul Hobson has given every one of his 16-man squad an opportunity this afternoon. As you'd expect, given the youth he's got on the bench and also the position in the game. 10 minutes to go here at Shepard's Park. You'd expect to be some very content Birkenhead supporters up there in the club rooms in the background. Having a nice drink here on a cold Auckland afternoon. Watching a bit of Northern League football. Thomas battling away, but Western Springs just at the moment, the impetus has gone out of their play a bit. Probably the substitutions haven't helped, but probably more the scoreline. Forrester again plays the ball into that left-hand flank where they've had so much joy this afternoon. Done really well in that part of the pitch, have Birkenhead. Piper keeps the ball in play. Yeah, not great from Joe Wallace that time with his delivery. Plenty of football around the Auckland region coming up this weekend, especially with the Phoenix to play at Eden Park. So you've got to hope there's a decent crowd turns up at Eden Park to support the Phoenix side, who are trying very hard to make it or stay in the top 6 of the A-League men's competition. Currently sitting in 5th place on the ladder, 4 games to play. Big game against West Sydney Wanderers on Sunday. With a real opportunity, the Phoenix, to stay in that top 6 position. Here's Rangi Hayata taking on his man, has a shot, drills it across the face of goal. And it is Dawson Straffen who gets on the end of it. I think this was a shot, but it turned into a wonderful cross. Nice step over, drops inside, and that's a lovely finish from Straffen. It's a difficult ball because it came across at some pace, and he's done very, very well just to redirect that one inside Damien Hirst's near post. And suddenly, a couple of question marks for this Birkenhead team. Have to try and manage out the final 6 or 7 minutes, plus time added on. Certainly that'll give a bit of a spring in the step of the Western Springs players. Jorgensen, can you respond? Jorgensen picks up a corner. Rangi Hayata, Koulibaly, Maloney all drop back. See Maloney there I think the word is, mate, we don't need you back here. We need you at the other end of the field doing what you just did, setting up goals. Jorgensen to take. It's it flat across the face of goal, but just drifts in behind. Lausef down the line towards Brown. Maloney. And throw in goes Birkenhead's way. Ramsey across to Thomas. Rangihayata. Thomas. Just never had it under control. And I think there may be another substitution being made. No, more a break for injury. I think one of the players suffering from a blood nose. So that's being dealt with on the far side. Forrester. Into the final 3 minutes of normal time. Lausef steps forward. Wins the battle against Jorgensen. It's a crunching tackle from Jorgensen, and he will go into the book. As I said before, Jorgensen been very good in the middle of the park. Done a power of work. The frustration there on the bench from Chris Orosic. Just wanted the ball to be played quickly. Here's Brown. Needs to switch it. Does so through Ramsey. Piper does well, but gets pinged for the foul. Quickly taken, delivered into the penalty area. Knock back. There's got to be. I say there's got to be a goal, but just the strike went beside the post from Rangihayata, and again. Damien Hirst, rather fortuitous that he wasn't drawn into a save that time. It was a lovely layoff in the penalty area. And the Western Springs number 17 running onto the ball, just couldn't direct his shot on target. And I think that's been the story of Western Springs season. They've created decent opportunities, but the clinical finishing just isn't there and hasn't been there in previous games. Maloney just dwells on it a bit. the Springs players. I think it was Adama Koulibaly when in that last instance he was trying to shield the ball, got clipped from behind and went down awkwardly. Just holding his right leg there. As he hobbles off the field, the 16-year-old, Mount Albert Grammar School student. Actually coached them in for an age group tournament 2 or 3 years ago. Lovely, lovely young man. There's Adama Koulibaly. And a very, very good midfielder as well. It's really good to see him bursting into the Western Springs first team. And the clock's ticked over the 90 minutes. We are into 3 minutes of time added on. So just a couple of minutes for Birkenhead to navigate, to pick up the 3 points here. And they've been good for their win. Had a very good first 45 minutes, this Birkenhead side. Just their counter-attack play, just too quick, too clever for Western Springs. They went in it 3-1 up. Quickly that became 4-1 in the second half. And Western Springs just haven't had the wherewithal to really put some scoreboard pressure on this Birkenhead side. Matthew Thomas throws the ball in. Piper has a bit of an air swing. Gets a second bite at the cherry. Here's Allport. Allport with a chance to wrap it up. Allport! And he does just that. Five of the best for Birkenhead. They have really put this Western Springs team to the sword. Allport rounds the keeper, draws Lausev, takes his time, doesn't rush his shot, and then just passes the ball virtually into an empty net. 5-2 for Birkenhead. The scoreline may have flattered them slightly, but certainly take nothing away from the victory. Four wins out of 5 for Paul Hobson and his players. So that is an extremely good start to the season for them. $12 points out of a possible 15. It will keep them at least a point behind league leaders Auckland City if Auckland City can beat, as expected, a North Shore United team. But as I say, a terrific start as the referee blows full time. It's enough, he says. And Birkenhead United have run out the winners here at Shepard's Park. A very, very convincing 5-2 victory for Birkenhead. Goals. Looking through the highlights of the afternoon on an overcast day here in Auckland. First opportunities came Western Springs way. All fizzing round the penalty area. Kane Vincent with a miscued shot. Nakashima couldn't capitalise. First goal came, it was a miscontrol by Lausef. Jorgensen pounced on it and sets up Cameron McKenzie. That made it 1-0, and Birkenhead were on their way. Damien Hirst had to be on his toes when Nakashima let fly from distance. Sam Burfoot, industrious all afternoon, hits that one high over the top. Kane Vincent battled away up front with not too much service. This was the equaliser. Ramsey played the ball wide. Brown delivered into the penalty area, and Vincent timed his run perfectly for a simple tap-in. That made it 1-1, but shortly thereafter, Wallace didn't deal with the cross. The rest of the defence didn't deal with the ball in the box, and it was Nick Forrester that turned that one in for 2-1. And Birkenhead had their lead restored. That lead got extended through Jackson Woods, who came forward and ripped a shot across the face of Joe Wallace. And that made it 3-1. Kane Vincent tried to pull one back just before half-time, but 3-1 at the break, and it was Birkenhead that would open the scoring in the second half. Nick Forrester did a great job down the left flank, and it was Levi Wilson who tucked that one away. A couple of good opportunities for long-range efforts from Western Springs. Margits hits this one, hits Kane Vincent. Oscar Ramsey hit the frame of the goal from another set play. Luke Allport came on the field and was very, very good. Industrious, pulled an unbelievable save that time out of Joe Wallace. Then Western Springs pulled one back. It was Dawson Straffen who got on the end of the cross, and the scoring got rounded out by the impressive Luke Allport. Beats the keeper, draws the defender, tucks the ball away, and that completed a 5-2 scoreline in favour of Birkenhead. So, convincing afternoon's work from Paul Hobson and his players. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. We leave you from Shepard's Park. It was Birkenhead, 5-2 victors over Western Springs.